Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good morning. Here we are. I'll tell you what, I have started off the day for Thankful Thursdays really truly feeling it, which is wonderful. You know, there are days when you wake up and you got to kind of try to get your mojo, but here's the thing. If you keep going through routine every day, and I've been talking about this on the shows here on Blog Talk Radio on the K Factor, which is where K equals kindness, and the factors are all the things that lead to it. I've been talking about the ways in which, as a doctor of psychology, and I am your host here, Dr. Deb Carlin, it is my job to understand human beings and understand what I call the human condition and look at the ways in which our society is impacting each one of us. Take a cultural snapshot and then, much like a photographer, change the lens on the camera, do a panoramic view and then get a telephoto lens and really zoom in close on us and keep changing the lens. So I'm changing my perspective and trying to figure out, what is it that I'm seeing? How accurate am I? What are the influences? And with what it is that I find, what are the potential solutions for problems? So I'm both glad to say and sorry to say that for my book, Build the Strength Within, I'm getting more requests than I have ever. And for my online course, more requests than I have ever. Because people are finding themselves, we are all finding ourselves locked in, right? Well, when you're locked in, some people, I just had a conversation with a gentleman this morning and I was asking him how he was doing. He said, well, it's great. I live with my dog and I've been spending the last 6 months doing a lot of Netflix. I said, that's great. Are you having fun? Yeah. All these movies, I've had them packed up. Great. How's your dog? My dog loves it because I get to be at home all the time because I was calling him to do some transactions and he got to do it from home on his computer with his dog, with his Netflix in the background. Great. Wonderful. But there's another opportunity. I love hearing the stories about replenishment and people enjoying working from home and being in their zones. But there's another opportunity here, and that is something for us to be really thankful for. And that is that this is a time when we can really build our inner strength. There's all kinds of resources that I, as Dr. Deb Carlin, if you Google my name, either into Google or you go into Facebook or LinkedIn, or you go on to YouTube. Yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. On YouTube, there's a lot of video content there. And one of them is for a relaxation exercise that is seriously life-changing because I quiet your mind with you, for you, with you, teaching you how to take a journey within and finding that you actually have got tremendous authority in your mind and control. It's the only place we really have control. And when you do this relaxation exercise daily, what you start to realize, you know how you can get yourself into a funk and it's like, Thankful Thursdays, what have I got to be thankful about? And then you feel crummy. It impacts you physically. You know that. We all know that. We can make ourselves sick, funky, uneasy, and dis-ease, uncomfortableness does lead to disease. We'll end up getting sick. We make ourselves sick. If you do this every day, you start to realize the impact that you have over your thinking, which means you have an impact over your emotions, which means then that your body ends up being in a very different disposition, and you realize your authority and your influence there, which is phenomenal. So as you're doing all of this, stop and think, wow, how thankful can I be for during this time of this virus and this incubation and what we call the lockdown? How thankful can I be that I had time to get to know myself in a way that perhaps I never have before and feel better as a result? I have had my own struggles with all of this: confusion, overwhelm, uncertainty, angst, anxiety, depression. I mean, really getting sad and then furious. Okay, well, what am I going to do with all that? All right, well, let's take that emotional journey. And by the way, be thankful, really thankful that we have the capacity to think and feel and experience those emotions. Because if life was a flat line, quite literally, when it's a flat line, you're dead. You have no heartbeat. You have no brain activity. I don't want to live like that. I want to feel the vibrance of life. Even when there are things that are troubling to me, I still want to feel them. I want to experience them. I want to be challenged. And I want to work from a place of living in the contrast to work towards what it is I'd like to achieve. I'm thankful for that. And I'm so thankful that when I get up, I've got my routines and my practices. Doing this show every day has been a marvelous blessing because I have a routine. And it's not just a dull routine, it's a vibrant routine. So most days you will find me here with a co-host. And we're talking back and forth and playing off of one another and getting into the groove of who we are and what we do and how all this goes. What do we do? What do we do to make ourselves feel better? Now, the last couple of episodes, I've been here with my associate co-host friend, Alexandra Nickel. And she's got this great studio. And in her studio, which is called Pure Bar, it is pure and then Barre. So it's kind of a singy name, Pure Barre. She has a ballet bar in there, but it's not just about that. You don't ever have to have done ballet in order to qualify to be in there and feel comfortable. But they do yoga and stretches, and I am offering her and her associates an opportunity to have my content offered to people so that they can see all the things that I can teach their audience. And by the way, you don't just go in there, and they do have small classes that have started up again, but they have a whole online streaming so that people who want to stay home or have to stay home can have the experience virtually of being in a studio and getting in a workout and having people who are part of their life, part of their world. I'm actually, you know, I'm torn because there's a part of me that's really grateful for this and very thankful for this. And then there's another part of me that feels really sad because I miss people. I miss the handshakes. I miss that extension of my hand and shaking. And usually when I extend my right hand for a handshake, somebody puts their hand in my hand. I put my hand over the back of their hand because I want to hug hands. And I really miss hugging people and being hugged and being held. Oh my gosh, hugs now are so precious. When I get a hug and give a hug, they're like, for real, for real. Let's not let go because we all miss each other. Human touch, human contact is so critical for us. Critical for us. We want to feel the beat of one another's hearts. As a matter of fact, this reminds me of something. I'm thankful for this little epiphany here, this little magical moment of remembrance. Over the last year, people were saying when you'd hug them, oh, no, no, wait, let's go heart to heart. So the left hug, and let's really squeeze in and feel one another's heart. Now, isn't that lovely? That is as if a hug itself isn't a nice exchange of energy. That additional going heart to heart in a hug is so nice. And that brings me to another point. So I used to run biofeedback labs and psychophysiology labs and do that kind of research. And I've never really stopped because one of my passions is health and well-being, authentic, holistic well-being. But one of the things that I feel very passionately about is mitigating cardiovascular disease in our culture because it's still one of the leading causes, if not the leading cause of death among we Americans. Why? Because we're really good at getting uptight. clenching down on our vascular system. As we get uptight, it constricts. That makes our poor little heart have to work much harder to push the blood out to all of our extremities. That's called increasing your blood pressure. You're increasing your pressure, right? So what do you do about it? Take medication? Well, you can. And if you're at a dangerously high level, I recommend that you work with your physician and you do just that. I also recommend that you take my offer to Google my name into YouTube, Dr. Deb Carlin relaxation exercise, and start practicing it. I want 10 minutes from you every day. 10 minutes. Don't tell me that you can't afford 10 minutes for you. You can afford a lot for you because you're your most precious asset. This body that you live in is your most precious asset. What you will find if you have a blood pressure machine, cuff, or whatever, take your blood pressure before you do the exercise and then do it and take it afterwards. And what you're going to find is that your blood pressure comes down. We want a good low baseline blood pressure because throughout the course of the day, your blood pressure is very fluid. It spikes and dips depending on what you're doing. Just the fact that I am talking and moving, that increases my blood pressure because my heart has to work a little harder in order to feed my body because I'm moving around and I'm using blood, I'm using energy. Great. But my blood pressure is usually like 120 over 60, 120 over 70. And so for me, my spikes aren't going to go into the danger zone. If your baseline blood pressure is high, then when you're just doing normal behaviors, your blood pressure can spike you into a zone where you have a transient ischemic attack or a stroke or heart attack. We don't want those kinds of things for one another. I know we don't. And the relaxation response exercise can help you. So I just gave you a gift, and I'm thankful that I have it to give to you. And I hope that you're thankful to receive it. So this whole reality of this virtualness, like with my friend Alexandra Nikolai, she can offer this gift to her audience. My goodness. And you don't have to worry about coming in and doing it in a group. As nice as that is, some people feel awkward about it. So it's private. And you know what? We've been moving in our culture at a frenetic pace for a long, long time. It's been time to slow it down a little bit, to find a new kind of peace, to give ourselves time to look within and get really genuine and authentic in our caring for ourselves. How many of you who are watching or listening right now know deep inside that you have been running away from yourself? You've been running away from your feelings and you've been running away from your thoughts. We all participate in it. I'm a human being too. I just know from my lifelong experience and study of this that it's not healthy for us. Now, I've done a lot of different things in my life and in my career, and one of the things that I've done a good percentage of is I've been a visiting consultant as a doctor of psychology, going into facilities, going into homes, going into hospitals where people are in hospice. The admission ticket to get into hospice is that you need to have 6 months or less to live. Gives people a real opportunity to get a lot of things right. I've never had anybody tell me, I wish I had been busier during my life. Some people wish that they had accomplished a thing or two more, but everybody across the board wishes that they had spent more time in love state. Love and expressing love to the people who are closest to them in this world. Love and demonstrating love to the self. We all know, me included, we need to take better care of ourselves. This body that we get to live in is a magnificent vehicle. It is perfect. And we can hone the body, but it's going to hone according to what we do with our mind. We have to be in sync. So here's another thing that I do. I have a device that I work with, which is so super simple, easy. I plug it into my iPhone. I put a clip on my ear, and I do a biofeedback reading that tells me, are my thoughts in coherence with my heart? And I see my heart rhythm. And it gives me a subtle cue through color and some other things that show up on my phone. It shows me when I'm in coherence and when I slip out of it. And then I'm unconsciously programming myself overtly, but unconsciously as well as consciously. I'm programming myself for my heart and my mind to be in sync. Because when they are, I have so much more capacity. Now, I've been doing this. I'm sorry I didn't do it through the entire coronavirus episode since January, but I hesitated because I've got these other exercises I participate in. This one is 5 minutes a day, 3 times a day, and it's miraculous. So if you want more information about that, you can look onto my social media and my website, sign up for the news and the e-news, and I'll be sending out information about all these different opportunities for you. The point is, all these opportunities are why we're here for Thankful Thursday. And I'm excited about a handful of things. Number one, I'm excited because our numbers are really going up. I Google search to see how we're doing, and I look at the statistics on Blog Talk Radio and see how many people are starting to tune in and listen, and head over to YouTube to see the video version of the show, not just the audio version that's on Blog Talk Radio. And I love that because I'd like to reach everybody, absolutely everybody, everywhere, and instill a peace of mind and a peace of heart. Because when we are in that state, my friends, we have an opportunity to be reasonable, to start to really think critically. And we also have an opportunity to feel good, clean feelings of love and patience instead of anger and that whole long list of negatives, which I'm not going to list off again. I don't want to fire the negative neurons here. I want to keep it lovely, hopeful, positive. We've all got a magnificent opportunity right now, today, in this moment, to upshift everything. All you have to do is say, that's what I want. And on this breath, inhale confidence, and then exhale doubt. Drink it in, every bit of confidence that you deserve, and exhale all your doubts. Have faith. Have faith that you are here, you have a purpose, a peaceful purpose, a meaningful purpose in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit to do things to find happy and then spread the joy. This is a short episode today. This is your host, a very thankful Dr. Deb Carlin, signing off, wishing you well. Have a good day. Stay safe out there in the world. I will see you tomorrow.